Minecraft just released the first betas for the Chaos Cubed update, introducing the new Sulfur Caves, Cinnabar and Sulfur blocks, and the Wild Sulfur Cube mob. This is everything that you need to know about the new features, starting with Minecraft's newest biome, the Sulfur Cave. So Sulfur Caves are incredibly common throughout the Minecraft world. This might just be because it's in beta right now. So yeah, this entire area is just absolutely saturated with these Sulfur Caves. However, if we go in this direction by a couple hundred blocks, then you'll notice that there's not really any in this area, so of course they can still be kind of hard to find. Now you're supposed to be able to find a sulfur spring on the surface of the world, telling you that there is a sulfur cave below it. I've been flying around for a while and I haven't seen one, and there's sulfur caves absolutely everywhere underneath here. Now I personally think that that is incredibly boring, and hopefully they make them look a little bit more like Yellowstone. That would be such an amazing, cool biome to have. Now, these are a standard cave biome, so there are going to be normal hostile mobs spawning in here, and there's going to be plenty of them, of course, but this is the only biome where you are going to find the new Sulfur Cube. It seems like a lot of the time when you find a Sulfur Cave, you're not actually going to get these Sulfur pools. It's mostly going to be blocks on the walls, or ceilings, or even on the floors, but you're not guaranteed to have one of the pools. Now, the walking sounds of these are pretty cool, actually. I do like those, and the sulfur pools, you'll notice, have these particles in them. These are the sulfur cloud particles, or whatever you want to call them. So if we jump in here, we're actually going to get nausea if we are inside of these particles right here, and that's great. We absolutely love that. Now, if you look in here, it is actually the nausea effect. Now, these pools are only going to give you the nausea effect if you are actually standing in those particles, and that is because of the potent sulfur block that is right here. So these are the ones that actually give you the clouds, and these will give you nausea along with any mobs that enter the pool as well, but it's a very short-lived effect. It's only a couple of seconds. So we'll give the nausea effect to any mob that is inside the pool. As you can see, this creeper has some of the little effect cloud particles on it, but it's not really gonna actually affect mobs or anything. Like, this guy is still more than capable of blowing up and killing you, so I don't think it's really practical for anything at all. I love that the glow squids can spawn in here and then immediately get the nausea effect. That's great game design. I kind of feel like they shouldn't spawn in there. Do you guys think I feel like they shouldn't. This feels like a toxic pool of death and evil. I don't think they should spawn in there. This guy spawned in normal water and immediately died. Now, when it comes to mining these are actually relatively soft blocks. All you need is efficiency 5 and haste level 1. You do not need a full, like, 4-tier haste 2 beacon to instant mine these. So there's only 3 blocks that you'll ever find in these biomes, as far as I can see. That is the normal sulfur, the normal cinnabar, and then the rare potent sulfur that you can find in the sulfur pools. And the normal sulfur and cinnabar is actually all you need to make the entire set of blocks. As you can see, we can craft absolutely everything, and yes, you can craft the potent sulfur. It just takes 9 of the regular sulfur blocks. So if we put these into a stone cutter, as you can see, we have an entire new block set with walls, with polished versions, with bricks, with chiseled, and absolutely everything that you would expect. Honestly, these look pretty good. So here is the entire new block set of sulfur and cinnabar. There's, of course, the raw variants with all the walls, stairs, and slabs, and then you have the smooth polished versions. Then there is the brick version with walls, but you get the idea. And then, of course, there is the actually unique chiseled variants as well. This one, they've changed it. It did have 6 legs before, and now it has 8. So it could be a spider, or it could be a beetle. And of course, the other one is the cute little sulfur slime. Look how cute this guy is. This is going to be great for, like, mechs and robots and all kinds of things where you just want an adorable little face on it. A little bit of lore right here. So pretty much all the other chiseled blocks in Minecraft that have faces on them, or mobs, are mobs that already exist within the game, except for maybe this one. This could either be the cave spider, the regular spider, or it could be something new like a beetle or something that we haven't seen yet. And this is what all of the items look like in a chest. You'll notice the new sulfur blocks aren't as saturated as they looked at Minecraft Live, and that's because Mojang has already made some changes to these based on community feedback. So yeah, they're a little bit more subdued. They're not as potent colored. And now we got the sulfur cube, everyone. So these guys just spawned in a pack of 4, and you'll notice that these are all the medium variants. So these guys are actually passive towards the player. They do not attack you. Even if you go up to them and you punch them in the face, they really just do not care at all what you do to them, which is so good because we're gonna do some very horrible things to them. Now, if you kill them, they'll actually split into the smaller variants like regular slimes like you would expect, and these small ones will actually grow up into the mediums over time. Okay, I'm pretty sure it takes a full 20 minutes or maybe even longer for these guys to grow up, but they do eventually grow up into the medium slimes. Wow, it is so slow. Now, they really didn't tell us that much about these guys in the change logs, so we're kind of just flying blind here, and it doesn't appear that you can feed them sulfur. I was hoping that there's a way to speed up their growth. Now, you can feed them the golden dandelion and stop them from growing up, which is great. So if you want to keep some of these cute little baby guys around, you totally can. I also wanted to see if you can maybe speed up their growth by putting them in some sulfur water, because I imagine this is where they were born. I don't know, man. Biology is weird. But anyway, it doesn't appear to really speed them up. I'm not seeing any green particles or anything. And also, you cannot put a lead on these guys. I feel like that's a little bit of an overlook. We'll probably be able to put a lead on them at some point. They are a passive mob. And also, you can fishing rod them. It's just a little bit difficult to do. But as you can see, it is possible. Also, yeah, I tried feeding them all of these things except beetroots. They don't deserve that. No one deserves that. Now, it appears that there is only the medium versions of these. There is no large version. However, Minecraft themselves put out a short with a large version in it, so I don't know what's up with that, but apparently these things only spawn in mediums and they all go down to smalls. I think it'd be cool to have a large version though. Don't see why we wouldn't get that. These are in the slime family. The best part about this entire update is that you can pick up the sulfur cubes in a bucket, and it's adorable. Look at this little guy right here. He's just a smelly little dude in a bucket. He's adorable. And then if you put him back down, he's never facing you from what I've seen. He just never looks at you. And it's, you know what? It's kind of sad. Actually, it looks like he's always facing the same direction. Yeah, it remembers his facing direction. So he's facing me right now. And then if I run over here and place him down, he should be facing, yeah, he's facing to the right. Okay, so it's saves his facing direction. That's kind of weird. Anyway, if you try and pick up the little ones in a bucket, it's not possible. Only the mediums. I feel like this should be possible. If anything, these guys are much more bucket sized. And no, you cannot put slimes or magma cubes into buckets because reasons. Come on, equality or something like that, Minecraft. Why can't I put a slime in a bucket? Bro, Phoenix just joined my world. Hello there. What are you doing on Bedrock Edition? He's streaming right now. What are you doing? Hi. Bro, you can put Bedrock inside of the slime.
It's slippery.
Okay, well, we tried out some things and none of the cool things worked. Bye, Phoenix. So obviously the best feature of the sulfur cube is that it can absorb blocks. Not every block though, only some blocks. Now, depending on what block you give it, that is going to change the, you know, physics properties of said cube. So if you give it an iron block, as you can see, this guy is incredibly resistant to moving. He is very not bouncy. It's like he's solid lead. Now, interestingly, you can give it bedrock. And yeah, that is also just, you know, for some reason it's slidey. Listen, I don't work here. I just play around and discover, okay? Now, also, obsidian is something that you can give it, and it is also bouncy and slidey. So, clearly, there is not a logic happening anywhere in this system. Now, there's two ways to replace that block in there. You can either just right-click on it with another acceptable block, and you will instantly swap it from one to the other. And yes, it does drop the existing block, so you can't duplicate items using this or anything like that. Or you can use shears to turn it back into just a regular little slimy dude, and it appears that he doesn't exist. Nope, no AI. I think I broke him. I think he's supposed to have AI after you take the block out, right? Did I destroy his brain? I may have destroyed his brain by putting a block in there. That is possible. Oh no, there. Okay. So it appears that we found ourselves a bug. So you put a block in there, you swap a block, and then you remove the block, and boom, no more AI. Okay. But if you just put, oh, no, now he's okay. Maybe I'm the one without a brain. So we can play around with the slidiness of it. As you can see, each one of these has ice or blue ice or packed ice in them. And depending on which block is in them, that should affect how far they slide. And nope, they all slide the same distance. It seems like a little bit of an overlook right there. I feel like this one should slide the least and the blue ice should slide the most. So I wanted to put the other kinds of slime inside of the sulfur slime. So this is the slime block, and that is very bouncy. Okay, he went really far, and this is the magma block. that is also quite bouncy, and also they're just gone now. So if we put honey in the sky, you can see he's going to be quite slidey and bouncy, but he's not really sticky. I kind of expected him to like stick to the sides of blocks and slide down, kind of like you can if you just have a normal pillar of honey. You just kind of like slide down it a little bit. It did specifically say in the change logs that there was a sticky like variants of sulfur cubes, and I figured that would be the honey block. Again, they didn't give us like a list of block properties or anything. We're flying blind. So if we just give the cube a normal block like grass block or cobble or something, then this is kind of like the standard properties right here. It just kind of goes. It doesn't really bounce too much. It's just kind of like basic default properties, which is probably why Obsidian and Bedrock are like this. They just haven't been assigned any specific property, so they just have the default. Now, there's quite a few blocks that just do not work with this guy. So, like, you can't put observers in it. You can put glowstone, which is interesting because you cannot put glass in it either. So it seems like transparent or non-full blocks cannot be absorbed by the sulfur slime because you also cannot use leaves either. So you can't put like random items in it either, like short grass or like any normal item that you would try to put in there. It just will only accept certain types of block. Now, that being said, it does not accept TNT as a block, and this is such a missed opportunity, everybody. If we could turn this guy into an explosion machine, that'd be fantastic. Like every single time that you hit the guy and he has TNT in him, he should explode and break blocks. It should be infinite TNT all day, every single day. Now, you also can't put structure blocks or jigsaws or command blocks or end crystals or anything like that in there. Now, unfortunately, when you have a redstone block in there, it does not actually power other redstone things, but this guy can still be detected by a pressure plate or a tripwire hook or, you know, standard mob detection systems. He is still an entity after all. Now, interestingly, when you put a light source in him, guess what? He doesn't emit light. Okay, now hear me out. What we should be able to do is we should be able to click on this guy with other buckets of mobs, and then we should be able to have like an oxalotl inside of a sulfur cube or something. And then it would be kind of like the slimes from Terraria that just have like other mobs inside of it. It'd just be cool, okay? And also, you'll notice that if you leave a block on the ground next to one of these sulfur cubes, they will just like randomly pick it up and then become that block. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so we have a pressure plate and we have a shear dispenser. What's gonna happen here? He does actually activate the pressure plate and he gets auto sheared by the dispenser. So that's something cool, I guess. Oh my god, we have to go test something. Yeah, so I think you can all see where this is going. Just go ahead and flick that, and wait a minute. Okay, well, for some reason it doesn't work, and that's actually a good thing, because that means that they don't need to fix it, which means that the sheep farms still work, because if this was an item dupe, then they would definitely, like, fix that. Which would be very bad for us. So maybe there's a way to get it to work, but I haven't like had any success with it. Anyway, if you know, you know. So apparently the more damage you do to the sky, the further it will fly when you actually hit it. But it appears that basically all of these guys are going the same distance. So we did a crit hit on that guy with like a sharpness 5 netherite sword, and this one was a wooden sword. So it appears that it's generally the same distance. Okay, let's give ourselves a strength of 20. This is enough to literally one-hit kill absolutely everything in the game. Crit hit that guy, and yeah, no, he just went the same distance. Interesting. Okay, so what if it's player momentum based? And I hit that guy with an axe. He still went the same distance. Interesting. Now let's try the mace. Go ahead and hit that guy, and yeah, no, he still didn't really go that far, to be honest. So they need to add some variability to this. Like, if we hit him with a better or more powerful tool, he should go further. That way we can, you know, optimize this for games like golf. And then you can have, like, different levels of club. That way you can hit him really softly if you want to, or you can hit him really hard. Also, you'll notice that this guy does not drop anything when he dies unless you, like, remove the block from him. So there's nothing that you can actually farm from these, but it should be pretty easy to actually make a sulfur cube farm, like a breeder for them. That way you can get a lot of them much easier, because it seemed like the spawn rate was a little bit low in the sulfur caves. So interestingly, they do float in the ocean, and it seems like, oh, it actually changes. Okay, that's actually so cool. Okay, so you can make them drop down to the bottom of the ocean and actually play some things underwater if you want to, or you can give them another block and then they'll float back up to the surface. Okay, that is actually really cool. I'm glad they have that implemented. Now, they do take environmental damage, so if you put them in lava, then like, yeah, they're gonna die. Now, interestingly, during the Minecraft Live showcase, They did show one taking damage on a cactus, but it appears that that's fixed, so that's interesting. And they do take damage on magma blocks, so maybe just heat damages? Our guy underneath here still has not drowned, so I'm guessing that they don't take drowning damage. It's been a few minutes. Yeah, they take damage from wither roses and stuff too. And they also take damage on campfires, and they also just have like an incredibly low level of health, so if you do get these guys into a damage source, then they're gonna die pretty quickly. Also, these guys are 1 by 1, which is actually kind of nice. I thought they'd be like 1.5 by 1.5, but you can actually drop them down a single hole if you want to, which is going to make things like golf very difficult if you want to make it very difficult on people. However, they don't actually like stack. So if we drop another one in here, yeah, they don't actually like stack on top of each other. Even if we put ourselves another block inside of this, they're still entities. And this guy is permanently bouncing. I have noticed that. If they're actually bouncing as you give them a block, then they will continue, like, moving a little bit. And furthermore, you can actually fall through them as well, so they're not, like, a block that you can land on. They're not like the Happy Ghast when it's being ridden. They're just like an entity, so you can walk through them and stuff. You can put a lead on these guys, but they have to have a block inside of them, which seems a little bit silly. Now, you can also hit them with projectiles, and they do maintain their properties when they're on a lead, and also when they're hit by a projectile. So I can see the slime one is very bouncy, but the iron one is very difficult to move. This also applies to things like snowballs, and even to wind charges as well. So they did think about this, and that's pretty great. This gives us a lot more opportunities to do just crazy things like that. That's wild. I didn't expect that. That's everything I can think to test right now, but I'll have another video out soon testing a whole bunch of mini games with the new Sulfur Cube. So make sure that you subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. What is happening with that turtle?